Hi everybody, I'm Serena with Key 360 Media and Arizona Key Travel Magazine, and today I am here at the Hall of Flame Museum of Firefighting with Dr. Peter Molloy, the Executive Director, and he's going to go ahead and show us around a little bit. This place is more than 40,000 square feet, is that correct?
35,000 square feet of galleries, yeah.
Okay, and you've got about 80 or more wheeled rigs in here, from what I understand.
All restored pieces of classic fire apparatus from the United States and England mostly.
Okay, so guys, this is right here in Phoenix, the world's largest museum of firefighting. So you are going to want to check this out. Let's take a little walk around. So as we're walking down here, I know you were telling me that these are insurance marks.
Yeah, they're fire marks. They're basically marketing devices that were used by insurance companies from about the 1670s, really down to the present day. Initially, they served as proof that you were insured with that company, but they soon evolved into just straight advertising. And they're commonly found, especially in houses in Germany and places like that where they're very popular.
So you have tons of those on the wall.
Yeah, we have hundreds of them. Yeah, they're mostly, some from the United States, mostly from England where they're the most popular, but a lot also from Germany, Austria, France, and Belgium, and Italy.
And look at this really interesting piece. We've got a piece right here. Can you tell me a little bit about this one?
Yeah, I call it a engineering masterpiece, but a marketing disaster. The guy who designed this designed it to compete with steam fire engines in the 1880s, and the idea was it was mechanical. It was operated by horses, and they would simply pull the thing by horse to the fire, hook it up to the horses up to the sweep, and then the horses would walk around it, and it would pump water, and it worked very well. The problem was the fire departments of the day, the volunteer fire departments, did not have horses. They pulled everything by hand. That wasn't a problem. They could pull it to the fire, but then they would have to rig up sweeps around the engine and walk around the engine to make it work. And they considered it demeaning. It was like being a horse. So they didn't buy them. And he quit building these, after a very few years. He didn't build very many. He went on to another design that was very successful, and the company remained in business well into the 1990s, but this one didn't really work very well. It was used somewhere in the Midwest, but we don't know exactly where.
But this is just one of the...
built in 1882.
Okay, so this is 1882, and this is just one of the many interesting pieces you have. And I think you were saying the earliest piece that you have was 1725.
Yes.
So there's just a ton to see out here. And I want to mention, too, that in addition to the fire marks that you have on the wall, you also have patches, and you have about 6,000 of those. Let's see if we can find some of those.
Yeah. After World War II, guys returning from World War II, they were used to unit patches in the Army.
Sure.
So they designed patches for their fire departments. And by the 1950s, most fire departments had a patch. And we have, over the years, people have contributed their patches. And we've got them in a database, and we have a list so that people can find their patches in these boards. And we add about 200 patches a year, 200 and 250. So it's added up to quite a collection. It's especially interesting to firefighters and also people from various towns. They want to see if their town's represented on the map. Firefighters, in many cases, they carry their patches with them like business cards and give them to each other as a way of identifying themselves. So it's a very popular exhibit.
Interesting. Well, I know you have a lot of different types of exhibits. Not only do you have some of these, obviously these motorized rigs, the rigs that were pulled by horse or by men, as you were telling us, but you also have these setups of fire station monitoring systems, right?
Communication system. This is how fires were called in to the central station and then sent out to the different fire companies to respond to. It's called the Gamewell System. It's kind of like Xerox. It came to be a generic term for all of these systems, these fire alarm systems. And the way it works is the calls come in from the firebox to the central station. They're referred out to individual stations, And then at the station, the guy who's on what they call house watch would know which numbers of fire hydrant alarm boxes were in his area. So this is box 13. So if the guy on house watch knew that they responded to box 13, he would then wake up everybody in his house and get them on the road to box 13. This one was actually used in downtown Prescott. But it was, the problem with it was that it was, civilians didn't like to pull the box. They were intimidated by it. The people who liked to pull the box were people who liked to send in false alarms. And they never figured out a way around that. They finally pretty much just gave it up, and they only use, there still are some of these in use, but in high-value buildings in New York and Chicago, San Francisco, where they're not subject to false alarms. Right. But it's a very reliable system, and expensive to put in initially, but fairly cheap to maintain. And really very brilliant design.
And the actual noises that we're hearing in the background, that's a monitoring system that you have set up here.
Yeah, we rigged up the scanner.
That is actually monitoring
calls coming in. Sure.
So there's so much to see here. We cannot cover it all in just one day's time, but I want to mention that you also have a lot of stuff for the little ones. Not only do you have a wonderful gift shop with little costumes and things like that the kids are going to love, but you also have a hands-on area, and you have an area where kids can actually climb up into a fire truck.
Yeah, we have one truck that's available for boarding. It's a 1952 American LaFrance. It's actually from Miami, Arizona. And it's an operating rig. We could get it running, and it gave us 3 or 4 hours. But the kids love to climb on it.
Sure.
And unfortunately, we can't allow them to climb on the other pieces because they destroy them.
Right.
But we do have a big fire safety area where kids can learn the basics of fire safety behavior and also have a good time sliding up and down a fire pole and that kind of stuff.
Well, we'll see if we can make our way over there, but this is a big place, so I don't know exactly where everything is. Yeah. One thing I do want to mention, too, though, is you have a Hall of Heroes.
Yes, we do.
Right?
That's a separate type display.
Right. And that is where you have not only a database of fallen firefighters, you have some interesting stories on the wall, you have a database of, what now, maybe 10,000 in there?
Yeah, we have about 10,000 firefighters, American firefighters who died in the line of duty since from about 1800 onwards. We're constantly adding to it.
Sure.
There's no real solid records before 1982, so we're constantly adding people to the database, and it's available for visitors to go through in the gallery. They can search it and get information on these people, and many times information on how they died and where they were from and things of that nature.
So if someone has a family member or a friend, they can maybe do a little bit of research, or they're also able to give you some information too that you can then. Or they
could sort by their town.
Sure.
Look at the record of men and women who died who were from their town.
Right.
Yeah. So, and we're again constantly adding to that as well. This gallery really talks about the social history of firefighting, who the firefighters were, volunteers, wildland firefighters, structural firefighters. They're all kind of different socially.
And you do have a separate exhibit for the wildland firefighters.
We do. We have a wildland gallery.
Yeah, and a lookout tower, right? A replica.
We have a replica of a fire lookout tower that would have been used in Oregon or Washington, and we have. That's actually the only wildland firefighting gallery in the United States. There's an excellent one up in Missoula, but that's just Montana. But that's just for the smoke jumpers, and that's only a small subset of wildland firefighters. But we're very proud of that gallery, and we put it in a few years ago. And the wildland firefighters are quite a bit different from the structural firefighters, who they were, their techniques, their equipment, and they deserve special coverage.
You actually have the buggy of the Granite Mountain Hotshots.
We do. They had two what they call buggies. They're basically big buses that they drove around into fires. And one of them, they were both purchased by a guy who's the father of one of the firefighters who died on the Granite Mountain Hotshots. And one is on loan to us, and the other is at the LA County Fire Museum in Los Angeles, California. So we're proud to have it, and it's a 2004 F-750 Ford that in excellent condition. and is, of course, a very popular attraction for our visitors.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's probably all that we can talk about today in our live stream. But as you can see, there is so much here. We'll put together a video and we'll post it so we can give you a little bit more information. But I just recommend you come on down here. You guys are open every day of the week, is that correct? Your hours are limited more on
Open
Sundays?
every day, Sundays from noon to 4, all the other days from 9 to 5.
Okay, but this is definitely a place that you want to come and see. So check it out. The website is
hallofflame.org.
okay, perfect. We'll have more information posted for you as well. Just a couple things I want to mention for your weekend. First of all, this is our magazine. If you haven't seen it in a while, it's Arizona Key Travel Magazine. It's our monthly statewide travel guide. We have tons of great events and different things going on that we have listed in here. We will be having another feature on the Hall of Flame in the coming months, so you can check that out. And it is available online as well, or you can pick it up from your concierge desk. But our website is www.arizonakey.com, and that's where you can go to find out more about a lot of the things that we talk about on our live stream and a lot of the things that are in our magazine. But what's on our cover this month is the Musical Instrument Museum, and I just want to mention that because they have a special exhibit going on right now that is closing May 6th, and you will want to get in to see it. That's the Ancient Musical Treasures from Central China, Harmony of the Ancients from the Henan Museum. That is a special exhibit that is closing soon. It is very exclusive. And I want to tell you too about the MIM. If you decide to go out there, you can actually get a 2-day pass that for $30 as opposed to their 1-day pass for $20. So for just an extra $10, you can get a 2-day pass, and that is good within 7 days. So think about that if you're planning on going out there to visit. And one more thing I want to mention before we say goodbye is that we are doing another giveaway next month for Sedona Rouge. That was super popular. So make sure you check that out on our website as well. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day, and we will see you next Thursday at 11 a.m.